Time for sound design. In today's video, I'm gonna process the Drumbrute Impact drum machine through an analog mixer to add character to the drum sounds. The mixer that I have here is a mixer from 1985. It's an Inkel MX991. It's an analog mixer with 8 channels with a mic, line and phono input per channel. It has a basic EQ. It has a low and a high boost and cut. It has panning per channel, and the kind of special thing about this mixer is that it has a built-in echo. So you have a send per channel that you can send to the echo unit, and then you have some controls for the echo. So you have delay time, repeat, and master echo volume. So it's a really nice little mixer. I bought it for very cheap online. I cleaned it up because it was full of stickers and dust. So I opened up completely and took out all the boards. So each channel is on a separate board. So it's very easy to take out and clean. It has 2 manual VU meters. Yeah, and that's about it. The headphone jack on the front. One of the nice things is that you can very nicely overdrive sounds if you use the mic input. It has a lot of gain. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the individual outputs of the Drumbrute Impact to send to separate channels in the mixer, and then basically color the sounds by overdriving them, adding echo, and then recording into Ableton. So without further ado, let's get started, and let's first hear how it sounds. So I made a little loop in the Drumbrute. The kick, snare, hi-hats and the FM drum have a separate output, so they go to the first 4 channels, and then the master output of the drum machine goes to channel number 5 on the mixer. So just as an example, this is how it can sound. And it's an old mixer, so you already hear there's a little bit of noise. So I didn't use the distortion on the Drumbrute. I used a bit of the EQ and a bit of the echo, but I will now dive into each individual sound to show you how I set it up. So if we start with the FM drum, going to channel number 4 on the mixer. For the FM drum goes into the line input because I don't want to distort this sound. And then I'm going to apply some EQ and also send it to the echo. So without any EQ and echo, it sounds like this. So the FM drum sounds pretty nice through the mixer. For the snares, I only applied a little bit of low cut. And I also send it to the same echo. So without the echo, it sounds like this. And then for the kick drum, did a high cut and I boosted the bass a little bit. So I put all the settings now to 0. I'm going to play the pattern and then tweak the settings as I like them, and also record some kind of automation basically. So tweak some parameters to create a loop where there is more variation. All right, so now that I have recorded this kind of performance in Ableton, let's look at the loop and let's select a bit that can be used out of this kind of performance. So as I started with the first element, only the kick drum, slowly added more stuff. So let's go further into the recording, maybe towards here. Maybe somewhere here. We can take a 4-bar loop. Maybe I take this part because the kick drum was a bit loud. So yeah, this is a nice loop that I just would save to my library of sounds. And what I will do is I will create more loops, different tempos with different instrumentation, with different levels of echo and EQ, just to give this drum machine a bit of character, a bit of analog vibe. As you can hear, even without recording, there's sort of a noise level. You can think that's annoying, but that already gives some kind of vibe to the drum machine that is otherwise very clean. Even though it's an analog drum machine, it's a modern drum machine, so it's very clean. So this loop I would just export as an audio file, and then when I make music, I would process it further. Let's leave that for now. So the next thing I want to do is to use this mixer to really overdrive the sounds from the Drumbrute. And I'm thinking to do it in individual sounds. So since I'm using the mic input, it adds a lot of gain to the sound. So I can very easily create distorted sounds, and especially that works well on the kick drum. So I'm going to experiment and record with the kick drum and overdriving it. Also playing with the EQ, record a few passes into Ableton, and then using one of those sounds in Ableton to do some sound design with. So when I put the EQ back on 0, no echo, put the pitch on sort of in the middle of the Drumbrute, you can already hear that this is a very distorted kick. I really have to watch the levels of my sound card because otherwise it will distort also there, but this is just okay. So this is just the Drumbrute kick into the mixer. As you can see, the fader is sort of halfway. And this is a massive distorted kick. So let's record a few of those instances. And I will also play now with the EQ. Yeah, so as you can hear, they're massive distorted kick drums. This is perfect for gabber or early rave music. I'm gonna go into the file, look at some of the kick drums, and I'm thinking the tail of some of the very long decayed kick drums are very nice kind of bass sounds. So what if I load one of those into a sampler and create a chromatic bass instrument from it? And just to reiterate, I'm not using the distortion of the Drumbrute. It's only by using the microphone input of one channel and just cranking up the fader basically. And as you can see, the master fader is very low on the mixer because otherwise I will overdrive the input of my sound card. So I'm thinking the tail here could make for a nice instrument. And maybe this one I'm gonna select, and let's load up a sampler and put this into sampler. I'm gonna crop the sample, and then I'm gonna ignore the start point of the sample, so I'm gonna start a bit later. And the original key is, let's change the release to 1 second. That's kind of a G sharp. Let's change the attack time because there's a click now in the beginning. So yeah, this is a pretty massive bass sound, bass instrument from a distorted kick from the Drumbrute into the mixer, and then taking the tail, so leaving the attack portion of the kick out of it. So just holding one note is a really nice sort of pulsating low end. It really sounds like a soundtrack, a beginning of a soundtrack already. That was it for this video. I just want to show you quickly how I use these kind of old mixers that you can quite easily find. It is a budget mixer, so it is a very simple device, but it allows you to do something that otherwise would require a distortion and an echo. So you have distortion and echo basically into one device. Let me know how you use old mixers, or how you process your drums, how to create character from samples or drum machines. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and see you in the next one.